By that I mean we have a number of students at Missouri, domestic students who want to study abroad. They travel the world and earn academic credit, and we facilitate that process. We also receive all of our international students and our visiting scholars from around the world. We have students from over 100 countries, many from India. So we make sure that their visa documents and all things are in order, and that we do our best to help them prepare to live in Columbia. And finally, we manage all of our international agreements for the campus. So with research collaborations and exchange agreements, those sorts of things. So we work with over 20 colleges and schools around the campus to make that work.
Great. As I said, the theme of this documentary is to see how the education system is different in India and the US, and how students, how international students apply to a university, and how they are put to their respective departments.
Okay.
So,
well, I have to say that I know a lot about our system. I know less about the system in India, so I apologize for that. But I can say that I find our India students to be really interested in the kind of classroom experience they have with faculty, because they have the opportunity to ask questions and to disagree with faculty, and so it's an opportunity for them to develop critical thinking skills and real experience working in laboratories and working in a practical setting. So that's really valuable to our students. I think that applying for university is different at the graduate and postgraduate level. But we're trying our best to make that online as much as possible. So students can learn about departments and learn about the research capacity within those departments online, and they can actually apply online interactively. If they apply at the postgraduate level, they work the graduate school works directly with the departments. So the students are channeled to the departments that fit their interests best. And it's a very good system. With the undergraduate level, students declare majors on their own. And so they may choose a major that they will decide to change later. But so I guess it takes a little more time for them to figure out what they want to study.
In India, after finishing the 10th standard itself, the student has to choose their career.
Mm-hmm.
So the parents' responsibility and involvement and influence is more in India. So they have to choose the career of their child based on the financial situation in India. So because the kids are totally depending upon the kids, and parents. So there, after finish, suppose if they want to choose their career in medical, means they have to choose biology and botany. So if you want to choose accountancy, means they have to choose commerce. Like that, they have to select the subject after finishing the 10th standard. So after that, they cannot change that subject. So in plus 2 also they have to continue. After finishing plus 2 also they have to choose the same course.
Yes.
Suppose if they finished plus 2 with accountancy, means they have to choose commerce group only in graduation. They cannot do medical.
Yeah.
How it is the education system in US?
Well, I think that's another real opportunity in the U.S. system, because students are free to change. In fact, they expect students to explore topics. And, we have a 4-year undergraduate degree, and it includes general education requirements that I think are different than students would have in India. And one of the reasons for having those 4 years of general education is for students to explore new opportunities. I have 2 children who've graduated from the university here. And they both changed their majors 2 or 3 times before they made up their mind. But both have found good careers and good work.
So Aswin, you mentioned that you're doing your PhD here in chemistry, and as far as I know, with my personal experience and what I've been talking to students, is that you have your coursework, your research work, and then you have your life away from the university, your apartment, your friends, and all those. How do you work around all these to manage your learning time or study time, as you call it?
Yes, that is, I mean, when we were students in India, the I think most of us, I can speak for most of the people, the only job in course we have is to go and study and then come back home. Now here, when you are alone, when you come here for higher studies, when you are alone here, you have to manage things, as you were telling. We have to work to earn and to take care of ourselves, and then we have to cook for ourselves, the food, the preparations and stuff like that, and then we have to study. So all these things has to be managed. The university provides a system wherein we would fit our priorities in, where we would have a schedule, we would have a timetable from 9 to morning 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever that is, and then we would work on that. Now the faculty here are very helpful. So if we are having difficulty, they would help us. They would prioritize our commitments, and then they would accordingly suggest us, and then schedule work and other stuff for us. And also the places where you get employment, like cafeteria or Starbucks or anywhere. They also, I mean, those places that are in and around campus, we call it as on campus and off campus, where these people are also very flexible. You can work around your class timings, your coursework times, and then you can do that. You can schedule, you can uh, take care of your courses and your work. So there are help available. You have to take that help, and you can work from here.
So it looks like you can manage your time in such a way that you have some amount of time for your research, some amount of time for your personal work, going back home, cooking your food and all those, and you have set time for your classwork or coursework.
Yes, you have. Yes, you can do that. So every student will have that opportunity to work around their schedule. It's not like you have to. It's not that inflexible. It is very flexible.
So in general, are all the classes just during those 9 to 5 times, or are there evening classes also available?
There are evening classes. It's not only for people who has a morning job from 9 to 5. It's not only for them. It's even for students. My wife, she has most of her classes in the evening. She's doing her PhD program in a different university, but they work like that. They have evening classes. It depends on the professor's time and your time. If you are comfortable, you could schedule the courses at the evening also.
Okay. Now, trying to narrow down to your learning time or study time, where you do it and how do you go about doing that?
Well, as a researcher, I have told you that I'm doing my PhD in chemistry. As a researcher, as a student who is involved in doing research, I have to study all the time. But we won't be doing that. But fortunately for me, the program by which I'm paid is a teaching program. So I have to teach to undergraduate students, and thereby I learn a lot of stuff about chemistry. So in that way, it's a mutual learning. I learn a lot and then I teach. So I learn by that, and also I have to study. And coming back to your question, whether whether I find time to study really. So the requisite is I have to study. Yes, I do find time. It's not my schedule is not very tight. I have time for work, my teaching hours. I have my office hours. I have my research hours, and besides that, I have my other extracurricular activities. And apart from going to the apartment and cooking and all those things.
I just caught you coming out of the library.
Yeah.
So my next question is, how often do you visit the library, or in general, as you would know, how often students use the library?
Students use library very much. But then times have changed. Now that we have everything available online, and University of Missouri, we call it as Mizzou, has an online catalog of all the journals that are available. I mean, as much as possible. So, excuse me. These days I don't usually frequent to library that much as I was doing in India. In India we have to go to library because at that time I mean we did not have online access to those journals. Now here in the University of Missouri we do have online access to almost all the journals, especially pertaining to my field of interest. So I have my laptop and then I access those journals going through the University of Mizzou site and doing that.
When you say going online and referring journals, I believe they are scientific.
Yes,
peer-reviewed
scientific journals. Scientific journals. I could do that, and also if I am, I mean